Where is Caitlin Clark? Where's the moneymaker? Where's the needle mover? Where's the name that everybody knows? Where's the name that draws the most viewership? Where's the name that draws the most attention?
Got to print up here. I'm going to be real with y'all, Team USA. Caitlin Clark need to be on the phone. Hold on. I don't want to go there. But KCB's going to go there. Why ain't Caitlin Clark on the damn picture? Stop playing games.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to stop pretending. What's happening to Caitlin Clark isn't a series of random mistakes. It isn't mere marketing incompetence. What we're witnessing is a coordinated, deliberate, and ruthless campaign to undermine the greatest player of her generation. The official 2026 USA Basketball World Cup qualifying roster just dropped. Headlines will tell you Caitlin Clark is on the team, but the details tell a much darker story. This isn't a celebration, it's a trap, a setup meant to humble her, hide her, and force her back under the control of the very people she's been trying to outgrow. There are two glaring warning signs. First, the promotional graphic completely erases her face from her own team's marketing. Second, the appointment of Stephanie White, the same coach who arguably sabotaged her WNBA season, as an assistant coach for Team USA. This isn't just a basketball roster. It's a nightmare scenario. Caitlin Clark tries to rise, only to find the old guard waiting to pull her back down.
Why is Kara Lawson the coach? Duke stinks. Her offense is absolute garbage in college. Duke started out as a top 10 team. Bro, they stink, bro. Don't nobody want to watch them play. How's Kara? It's a few things I got problems with. I don't know how Kara Lawson's the coach. I don't know how Stephanie White is over there. Like this whole thing is looking wacky.
Let's start with the visual proof, because in 2026, marketing is everything. USA Basketball dropped the official graphic to promote the World Cup qualifiers in Puerto Rico. You have 12 roster spots. You have the most famous female athlete on the planet, a woman who fills NBA arenas, drives billions in sport valuation, and sells merchandise effortlessly. And where is she on the poster? Gone. Erased. Invisible. Instead, you see Aaliyah Boston. You see Chelsea Gray. You see Ryan Howard. No disrespect, they are world-class talents. But let's be honest, Ryan Howard isn't selling subscriptions. Chelsea Gray isn't driving Twitter engagement. Caitlin Clark is the engine. She is the sun, and the rest of the solar system revolves around her. So why hide the sun? This isn't an accident. It's intentional marketing malpractice. It's a message, we don't need her. This isn't the Caitlin Clark show. She's just lucky to be here. This is a passive-aggressive power move, designed to dim her light so that the veterans, friends of Sue Bird and Diana Taurasi, don't feel insecure about their fading relevance.
Team USA cover, and she better be starting. I don't want to hear no Kelsey Plum is starting over her. I don't want to hear no Chelsea Gray is starting over her. Y'all better.
If the graphic was an insult, the coaching staff is a nightmare. This is the part that should make every Caitlin Clark fan sick to their stomach. As the host of the Source video put it, it's like she's being stalked. Stephanie White, the head coach of the Indiana Fever, widely believed to have held Caitlin back during her WNBA season, has been named an assistant coach for Team USA. Think about that for a second. Caitlin goes to Team USA to escape stress, to play with elite talent, to thrive in a free-flowing system. And who shows up? Stephanie White. It feels like surveillance. It feels like the establishment doesn't trust Caitlin to operate freely, so they're sending her WNBA handler to Puerto Rico to keep her on a leash. Stephanie White has never held a role like this in USA Basketball's coaching pipeline. But suddenly, now that Caitlin is a star, she's essential. It reeks of old guard politics. The real goal? Ensure Caitlin doesn't outshine the system. If she goes to Team USA and drops 30 points with 15 assists in a different system, it exposes the truth. The problem wasn't Caitlin. It was the Fever's coaching. By keeping Stephanie White in the mix, the old guard controls the narrative. They can claim, see, she plays the same for Team USA as she does in Indiana. It's not coaching, it's the player. It's a defensive maneuver designed to protect one of their own from being exposed by a generational talent. And make no mistake, Caitlin Clark doesn't fit in a controlled system. She demands freedom, she demands impact, and she will reveal the cracks in the old guard's carefully constructed story.
This lady, what the is going on? We cannot get away from this lady, man. Good God. I'm so sick of it. Stephanie White, the Indiana Fever, man. How is she now? All of a sudden.
And now, let's break down the roster hierarchy, because the host highlights a truly alarming reality about the starting lineup. Just because Caitlin Clark is on the team doesn't mean she's going to see the minutes she deserves. The roster is loaded with old guard favorites. Chelsea Gray at point guard, Kelsey Plum, Jackie Young, players who won gold in 2024 while Caitlin sat at home. Ask yourself, do you honestly think head coach Cheryl Reeve, or whoever is really calling the shots, is going to bench Chelsea Gray for Caitlin Clark? History says no. USA basketball has always valued seniority over skill, waiting your turn over production. The likely scenario? The best player in the world coming off the bench, limited to 15 minutes a game against weaker competition, while Chelsea Gray runs the show. And if Caitlin or the fans speak up, they'll be labeled toxic, disrespectful, ungrateful to the legends. It's not a roster, it's a trap. Every game, every minute, every lineup decision is designed to force Caitlin to kiss the ring.
Today, Team USA made a massive mistake in 2024, failing to capitalize on the freight train that was Caitlin Clark.
This all traces back to the Sue Bird and Diana Taurasi shadow. The host calls Bird an opposition agent, and honestly, the evidence supports it. Bird is the most influential voice in women's basketball. She is the shadow commissioner. If Bird wanted Caitlin Clark on that poster, Caitlin would be front and center. If Bird wanted the offense to run through Caitlin, it would run through Caitlin. Instead, the silence from the legends is deafening. They are watching this sabotage unfold in real time and saying nothing. Why? Because Caitlin Clark threatens their legacy. If she dominates Team USA and drives viewership like no one before her, it diminishes the Bird, Taurasi era, making them look like the warm-up act before the main event. Their egos, coddled for 20 years by friendly media coverage, cannot handle it. So they enable the sabotage. They allow the hazing. They let Stephanie White shadow her every move. And it gets deeper. Look at the unrivaled connection. Breanna Stewart, Nafisa Collier, Sue Bird, they all have ties to this new 3-on-3 league. They have a financial stake in being the faces of women's basketball. If Caitlin Clark goes to the World Cup qualifiers and becomes the undisputed face of the sport, it directly undermines the brand equity of the veterans. USA basketball is being used as a pawn in a business war. They are suppressing Caitlin's value to protect the market value of the veterans with equity in rival ventures. It's not just politics, it's straight-up corruption.